Harry Potter and the 10 Years Later is regarded as being a parody of the end of Harry Potter. However, if you ask me, this depends on what your definition of parody means. To me, a parody means a comedic take on the current events of a story. And while as this film is definitely for a lot of it, as well as this series is for a lot of it as a comedy, uh, it it's not really based on the current Harry Potter events. It's later. Basically, the series starts off with Harry Potter and like in his late 20s or early 30s having a life crisis. He's working a job as an orator from the Ministry of Magic when he receives a notice saying that that his department is being closed because no one's seen a dark wizard since Voldemort was defeated. We then find out that Harry is having a bit of a strained relationship with Ginny, who wants to have a child with him, but he's reluctant because he's just like, hey, I don't really have a good job yet. Harry then gets an upset phone call from Hermione, who tells him that Ron has left. So Harry goes to Hermione's house to try and comfort her, and she wants to have sex with Harry for some reason that's not really explained that well. Apparently, she was curious, but and she gets him drunk, and it shows Harry waking up in bed next to Hermione. And so like, oh crap. And Ginny walks in on them, having come over to see what the hell happened to Harry. But and as out of sort of anger, she ends up removing his crotchal region so that he can't sleep with anyone. So Harry is now trying to find Ron and also trying to regain Ginny's trust at the same time. And in the woods, he finds Ron hiding out in a shack or a tent, whatever. And they turn Ron into a fat stoner who doesn't have a job at all. Harry gets a job request for the next day, and he goes in and he finds out that this job is asking him to wipe memories of Muggles. He takes the job without Ginny's permission, which kind of leads to an argument. As Ginny then gets upset and has a talk with Hermione, and Hermione tells him that Harry, having had such an abnormal childhood, doesn't want to be a normal adult because of this. So she decides to spice things up. When Harry is at work getting ready to erase a Muggle's memory, she makes a sexual phone call to him, leading him to go to the bathroom, and when he comes out, the Muggle is gone. He then goes back to the people who hired him, and tells them, yes, like, yeah, I messed up. So the guy who hired him says like, oh, that's okay, and just gives him another job to do. And when she takes Harry back behind the room and shows him a series of pornographic memories from historic people, and gives Harry the challenge of breaking into someone's house to get back this memory of himself, Harry's new boss, having sex with his wife. So Harry breaks into the house, and he finds out that the house owner is actually. He breaks in along with Ron, and he finds out that the house, the person who owns the memory, is actually the house of Draco Malfoy, who has had a sex change and is now Draco Malfoy. Hermione then comes in to start taking Malfoy's clothes off, which leads to an awkward scene in seeing as Ron is there. What then happens is that Harry finds out that the people who hired him upon taking that memory back finds out that the people who hired him want to turn him into Lord Voldemort. Harry's been noticing these really weird things happening. His scar vanishes, and he gets in a huge argument with Ginny. He walks into his house. Ginny attacks him, not believing he's Harry Potter because his scar is gone. And then she starts trying to talk him into having a kid again, and he is just like, and he starts yelling at her, and he thinks that she wants to make his life miserable, and he throws her to the floor, and he tells her he's done with her. He goes into he then goes to the people who hired him's office, and sorry, I messed up on the order there a little bit, and he tells them, like, he's like, yeah, my scar's gone, I just did something really terrible, and they tell him, yeah, that's great, because we've been implanting these memories in your head to change you into Lord Voldemort. And Harry doesn't take this seriously at first, but he thinks they must be joking. And then they take out and start pouring more memories into him, and it changes him into Voldemort, basically. So the next day, Ginny goes to Ron and Hermione's house, and Ron and Hermione are high ass on drugs, and so Ginny's very upset. She's all broken down, and she tells them Harry wants a divorce, and of course they're high, so they laugh at her. And then in the next scene, Ginny is getting high with them, and they're just laughing like hyenas, pretty much. So basically, when they find out that Harry's changed into Lord Voldemort, they decide they have various different theories as to how to change him back. Harry is captured by the Ministry when he goes to Malfoy's house and tries to reconcile with the Death Eaters by calling them by touching the tattoo on Malfoy's arm. And Malfoy just told them, yeah, they're coming, but I don't think they're really going to take you seriously. I mean, you got your ass kicked by Harry Potter twice. So, after Voldemort or Harry goes to the bathroom, he comes back, and these Ministry people disguised as Death Eaters are there, and they trick Harry and bring him down to lock him up in the Ministry of Magic, where they call Ron, Hermione, and Ginny. They have various different ideas as to how to change him back to Harry. One idea they have is to implant all their memories with Harry into Harry's mind, and basically this doesn't work, and it just turns him into a schizophrenic mess. And then Ginny, this part actually did make me laugh a little bit, has an idea that turns him into that, which in this idea is to make him listen to the Harry Potter audiobooks. So over a 4-day period, Ginny stays with Harry in the hospital, or in the Ministry building, and it works. He turns back into Harry, and then this is where the series ends. And then they do set up for a 9th episode, but I won't go into much detail there. The series only has 8 episodes, at least so far. I read somewhere online that it did apparently air on TV too, but it has a lot of hits on YouTube, so maybe there will be a 9th episode eventually. Overall, my conscience would be that if you are not a fan of Harry Potter already, this series will not interest you at all. If you are, then you'll like it. You know, it's a decent watch. It's nowhere near the level of the Harry Potter books or movies, obviously. Derp. And as a Harry Potter fan myself, I personally give it a 6.7 out of 10. Some of the humor was a bit dumb. Like, most of the humor is just like sex and marijuana jokes, you know. And for me, that kind of did just get old after a while. But overall, I had a good time with it. That's about all there is to say, really. I know I may have given away some spoilers. Sorry about that. But it is kind of a joke. The thing is, it is kind of a comedy, but other times, like, it's kind of trying to set a dramatic mood, so with comedy elements mixed in. So see it for yourself and judge it for yourself is I guess what I'm going to end off on. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this review slash synopsis. Uh, this is What's Up 290, and I'm signing off. Have a nice day. One thing I forgot to mention is that the pornographic memories that are shown to Harry turn out to actually be memories of Lord Voldemort's memories, which the bad guys used to turn Harry into Voldemort. And I also forgot to mention that none of the actors from the Harry Potter movies are in this. The guy they picked to play Harry Potter uh, does kind of look like Daniel Radcliffe, but overall not really. And it's the same with the actress who plays Ginny. Anyway, that's about it. This is What's Up 290, and I'm signing off.